Oh, I don't know. Defense only gave up 17 points.
You know what? It hasn't been mentioned enough. The defense only gave up 17 points.
I will say that was probably one of Brian Burns' best games. Derek Brown looked good.
Hasn't been said enough.
Yeah.
It's been overshadowed.
Mm-hmm.
The defense isn't bad. I think there's some proof in the action, right? Actions speak louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
Head coach was an offensive-minded guy. He's gone. Assistant head coach was a running backs coach. He's gone. Quarterbacks coach, he's gone. Everyone on defense is still there.
Yeah.
I think that shows that even David Tepper is kind of pleased with the way defense is going.
Defense is good. It's still, it still has its flaws.
Yeah,
I still don't think they make enough big plays. But they give you a chance to win games. If the offense was just average, this team might be 500.
Makes it even more 500.
I said might be 500.
That's
well, when you don't score more than 10 points a game, it's kind of hard to win games.
The NFL is 50-2 this year when giving up 10 points or less. The last two games by the Patriots.
Gosh.
Anyway, who's the next? Speaking of the Patriots, is it Belichick? Who's the next Panthers head coach? Ben Johnson, Detroit offensive coordinator. Brian Johnson, Philadelphia offensive coordinator. Somebody else with the last name Johnson. Jimmy Johnson.
That'd be something.
The race car driver.
Yes, Jimmy Johnson.
Jim Harbaugh. Eric Bieniemy. Lincoln Riley. There's a lot of options out there. Kellen Moore. I'm curious if Dave Tepper, because I have this theory that when hiring a coach, owners almost always overcorrect or over mimic. Okay, what that means is if you hire a old grizzled defensive-minded head coach, if you hire Vic Fangio and it doesn't work, right? 2 years later, you're firing him. The next coach is often an offensive guru, right? Somebody with forward-thinking, crazy ideas offensively. You just overcorrect. On the same case, if you've had success in the past hiring, a young offensive guru, that you try to mimic it, right? The Panthers have now failed with the college coach, that being Matt Rule, and they failed with the retread head coach. So I think you eliminate those possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to get a young offensive mind. I think we're going to get somebody in the mold of a Shanahan, of a McVay. Now, I'm not saying quality-wise those guys. I'm saying that archetype, like that,
You mean like what Thomas Brown was being looked at as?
Yes. A Thomas Brown, a Mike McDaniel, a Matt LaFleur, Kevin O'Connell, one of these guys who understands what an RPO is, and not because they reluctantly said, oh, these darn kids are running the RPOs, but because they're excited about the RPOs. That's what I think they're going to get, because it would be the overcorrection to what they've done in the past. I think you're going to get somebody that's never coached in college, right? Like started as a ball boy for an NFL team somewhere along the way, worked their way up like the Eric Spoelstra was a video intern and is now, I don't even know if there'll be a coordinator somewhere. I mean, basically I'm describing Ben Johnson, but I don't think Ben Johnson wants the job. I think if he did, he would have been the head coach last year.
Well, apparently he was highly sought after by Carolina last year, and then I think he pulled his name out of a lot of runnings for head coaching jobs because he wanted to finish what he was starting in Detroit.
David Tepper doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's like, oh, remember when you turned me down last year? That's cool. I'll offer it to you again this year.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's the archetype. I think he's the platonic ideal of what the Carolina Panthers are looking for this year.
If you could build it in a lab.
If you could build it in a lab, it would be Kyle Shanahan as the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for. Now, obviously, everyone's looking for that because the Niners are really darn good. But that's how I see this going. I don't think they go Harbaugh.
No.
I don't think Tepper wants somebody that's that headstrong, which could be a problem, could be part of the issue, right? I want a yes man. I don't think it's Lincoln Riley because that's too similar to Matt Rule.
Mm-hmm.
Ben Johnson, Brian Johnson, even Eric Bieniemy strikes me as somebody that's a little bit of that, been in the NFL too long, right? It didn't work for Frank Reich, and he's been in the NFL forever. I think it's in their 30s, early 40s, and it's offensive minded. And they're going to have one directive: make Bryce Young work, or you'll be looking for work. And we'll know 11 games into next season if it works. You also might have to go super young, I would say, inexperienced, because the experienced ones might be smart enough to look at Carolina and go, that's a lose-lose. It's too difficult. They're setting us up to fail, and they're going to scapegoat the head coach. What I really want, what I think they really need, is a new GM. Could be Belichick.
Oh, I don't know about that. You want to talk about headstrong? Guy who wants to just control everything?
Yeah,
you think Tepper would allow that?
But it's one thing to get bossed around or get into battles with Jim Harbaugh. It's another to get into battles with a 7 or 6-time Super Bowl champ. David Tepper might be okay getting a little guff from Bill Belichick when he wouldn't be okay getting a little guff from somebody that's not only never won a Super Bowl, never won a national championship.